Hello, and Levi is off screen here. Come join me. Back on the screen. This is nice and tilty. I love that. This is wonderful. We will get this addressed. This is how I like to start every show. Perfect, wonderful. Glad we got that arranged. Anyway, welcome to Q&A Thursday, where I'm your host, Dane Hennon. To my right, Levi Gates.
Hello.
Famous detailer.
Thank you.
That.
Master of
Among
Shine.
many other things, Master of Shine. Now,
I gave it to myself.
To my left, we have some guests today. You'll notice Anthony's not here, but that's okay. He's in another room. He's fine. He's just not feeling it today. So I think you'll be very happy with the wonderful guests we've got.
Says he's not feeling well.
Right.
He's not that he's feeling the Q&A. He's not feeling. He's just always feeling a Q&A.
Well, allow me to introduce our guests, our wonderful guest. Dave Phillips, welcome to the program. Chemist extraordinaire from P&S.
And I'm obviously not a professional. I step on the
He's a busy guy, but we're glad we got him here, at least for today. And Sydney, our own hometown Sydney, glad to have you on the program as well.
Thanks for having me.
This is going to be fun. We're going to be able to answer lots of P&S questions, chemistry questions, all kinds of good stuff. But before we get to that, Levi's always got some housekeeping we got to address first. So tell us, what's up? What's going on in that house? What are we cleaning today?
Well, I hope everybody got their orders in yesterday for the annual 420 sale. We had 42% off smoking deals at the Rag Company on a lot of towels that were 420 GSM. You see a trend there? So anyway, thank you to everybody that participated and purchased products. Hopefully you got to get some creatures, some spectrums, and things of that nature, some 42% off Eagles, all that good stuff. So we've got that. That was the biggest one, was that sale. Next week, I don't know what we have going, but I do know that I was talking about it in the group chat last week. Next week for our friends, on Thursday, the 28th, or Wednesday the 27th, I should say. Thursday the 28th is Augie's birthday.
Okay.
But the 27th is King's Day in the Netherlands, which is a national holiday. So I know Hans is going to be decked out in orange, eating stroopwafels.
Naturally.
Partying in the streets.
Yeah.
Taking the day off of work and enjoying himself. So just wanted to make sure everybody was aware. So all our European friends, I know that the Rag Company Europe is going to be doing a King's Day sale. So be ready for the King's Day sale over there. Maybe pick up some bead maker because it's orange. It is the national color of the Netherlands is orange.
Black and orange on the bottom.
Yeah, so grab some of that and get that going. And then really, it's crazy. Our parking lot's torn up. 3 more weeks is what we heard to get our parking lot. So for those
what do you think of the chaos out there, by the way?
In?
It's a little bit different than the last time.
Yeah, pretty crazy. We had to do 1 U-turn and 1 wrong turn.
Oh, no.
Dave had to say, Sydney, there's
we were
no
going to try and go over the center berm.
Yeah.
That would have been exciting. It would have been a one-way trip, but it would have been exciting.
Hey, she's driving a Jeep. It'll make it.
Yeah.
So
Not
anyway,
that kind of Jeep.
That's one of the things. And just to kick it off and start it off right, the bottles we have sitting in front of us.
Yes.
I discussed on my interview with Ivan LaCroix this past weekend on the Detailers Business Academy. And this product is a rebrand, a refresh. It's a product that Dave, you actually... This is your first product you ever developed for P&S.
Yes, it is. And actually, I think, this, as I remember, got started on the last Q&A where you asked me the question of what the first first product was.
That's right, yeah. So this product is unique and I talked about this. So when I was talking to Ivan, I basically said what I thought was really cool is one neat thing that you guys are doing is that this product has the potential still to this day to be a polish that can become it's kind of like it can be a one-step polish. It can be a coating correction or protection, a correction polish. So if you scratch your ceramic coating, you can use this to kind of clean it up without removing the ceramic coating. But it does a lot more than that. Can you tell me a little bit about what Ultra Coat polish is and what it is? It's so awesome.
So, it's interesting because I think, Sydney and I were having a conversation earlier, and it really the mark of a really successful product is versatility, where you can use it in so many different applications. And so this, got its first start as a very versatile product. It worked on a lot of different paint surfaces, a lot of different colors. And it's interesting because over time, it's maintained its versatility and it's continued to shine, really. Oops. And so...
you don't have to tell me twice, sister.
Yeah. So the bottom line is, I mean, you have to remember when this, almost ancient history, when this product was put together.
1987.
I don't think there were any foam pads.
Yep.
There were wool pads. There were basically the random orderals were, Black & Decker, I think, or the big old things.
Shakers.
And so this was designed originally to be used as a new car machine polish on a rotary machine with a fleece wool pad.
Okay.
Along come, foam pads. And again, you pull it out, you try Ultra Coat polish, and you're like, works good with foam pads too. Mm-hmm. And over time, the paints have changed, the pads have changed, the machines have changed. Everything has slowly changed. But what we're seeing is this product is so versatile that it's moving well with the time.
Well, and the times that I've gotten to use it, I've absolutely fallen in love with it. And I'm excited that this is available to the public now. Now, it's not available at the rag company. I apologize. We're working really hard to try and get that here so that we could have it for today. But at least we get to tease you a little bit. So stay tuned. Future coming attractions. But no, it's a great product, and it's one of those products that we were able to. Little teaser. We actually polished that Subaru, the little black Subaru, that the young kid from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We polished the hood of that with Ultra Coat, and it was a single stage black.
Oh, that thing was just scratched
paper
to
thin.
hell. It
Paper
was
thin, super thin.
So scuffy.
But polished it with Ultra Coat, and it just looked insane, and it cleaned up so much better.
It gave him a great idea of what it could have looked like.
Yeah,
one
exactly,
time.
exactly. And that was something that kid really was excited to see and have that. So super easy to use, easy wipe off, easy application. Safe for ceramic coatings, and I mean, just crazy gloss. It's a really good product. I'm really excited about it.
Right. Yeah. And so, and it is, it was formulated to be used as like a quick one step and then finish clean.
Right. Yeah.
So that makes it unusual in today's, polish market, because most of the polishes work and then they finish with, either a residue or something on the surface. So it's kind of fun that it finishes clean or with an extremely light and very easy to remove residue. So
dusting.
Just basically just blows off basically. I do have I don't know if this is a good story or not, but when I was a kid,
Tell it.
Okay, so when I was a kid, we all had longer hair in the 70s, and you would get your hair cut at not a barber, you'd get your hair cut at like a stylist, And I remember like when I first went in, to get my hair cut, they would have these. They'd have like the hair shampoos, but not like Prel and that sort of stuff. They'd have
like a designer
thing. And I remember this shampoo was called Jerry Mac. And I don't know if you guys are even close to old enough to remember this thing, but anyway. So there are these, this is a guy, the founder and the chemist, and he's got his name and his, not his picture, but he's got his name on the bottle. And I'm going like, oh, that would be so cool. Mm-hmm. And guess what? It's only been like 50 some odd years.
You finally did
it. Picture on a bottle. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, very exciting.
It is really exciting. And if you guys notice on the bottle, it's actually called UCP 1987.
Yep.
And so that we just shortened Ultra Coat Polish and put the 1987 just kind of as a, throwback to that this was Dave's first product. And it has remained so amazing over all the years. And so we thought that would be fun to put the year on there.
Well, and like you said, it was light years ahead of what was available at the time compared to what the tools and equipment that we have now.
Yeah.
And that it stayed that versatile, because there really isn't anything
There was a look
from back
into the
then
future.
that I would be using still to this day.
Probably not. No,
Right.
I would say that's true. I used to regularly go to the the auto parts store and grab things off the shelf, and I kept wondering, so when are they going to figure out that they have not so good products? And they eventually did figure out that they needed to make some improvements in their products. But it was very unusual back then.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right, Dane, let's get into some comments, some questions.
Up here, and starting off,
answers.
We got Kimberly, fan Kimberly. Congratulations on that LaCroix sticker, by the way. When you receive it, you may notice a little something extra showing up along with it. So look forward to that. So question, Kimberly says, natural finish will be available when?
Well, it's available on the website, P&S website.
She may be talking about
I think she means for the rag company.
For the rag company, I can't give you that answer, but I can say you can go to pns.com and pick it up today from P&S.
Well, there you go. We appreciate you wanting to support us.
Same with Ultra Coat Polish.
But if you really want it now, just go ahead.
Over there.
Go through P&S. All right, we got Dan next here.
Good afternoon, and a word up from sunny Minnesota, USA. Happy Friday Eve, TRC crew. Thanks for the cough, smoking great deals yesterday. Puff, puff, pass. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, buddy.
Alex Dewar.
Dewar. We are saying Dewar now because apparently he never corrected any of us.
We all said Dewar.
Oh, funny.
And he's like, it's Dewar, and we're like, oh,
my goodness, that's so funny.
So, saying happy Friday Eve. Welcome back, Dave. Happy to have you. Excited for this announcement. Very excited about that. And then Jamie the Cleaner. Woo, this one's going to be good.
Woo, sure is.
And then Dan Pfeiffer. Dave Phillips, welcome back to the Q&A. Excited to have you joining us again. Thank you, Dan.
Hey, we're excited too.
Boys. And then Hans. Hey, happy P&S Day. A sweet lady whispered in my ear that there will be told a big secret today. I can't wait to hear about Teal Bead Maker.
You know what? I've actually received a couple messages about people thinking it was going to be a different color bead maker. And so I responded to one and said, fun fact about me is I get a little bit mama bear when people talk about changing the color or the scent of bead makers. So just a tip there. I will probably not be requesting that Dave change the color or the scent. But that's what everyone's guess was, which is funny because I am actually super protective over those two qualities of bead maker.
That's okay.
I like it orange and I like it the way it smells.
So Hans asking, Sydney, does Pit Stop work just as great as paint gloss when using it as a vacuum aid?
You know, to be honest, I haven't tried it yet. So I'll have to try that this week. I have not tried that yet.
No. That's a fun little
question
detail hack there.
I will say that I finally got to do your vacuum aid with paint gloss.
It's addictive, right?
It is amazing.
You can't go back.
I mean, So I have these little needles that, I have a cedar tree, and so I have these little bits of needles that kind of get stuck in the carpet. And it's just ridiculous to try and get them out. And I sprayed paint gloss on there lightly and vacuum, and they just popped out. I think there were 10% of them were left. I mean, 90% came right out. And this was after vacuuming. So it's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. I try to sometimes I'll try to quickly vacuum something and then I can't do it. I have to go grab the paint gloss.
Well, we have a video about that on our channel too, where you actually demonstrate it. So for anybody curious about it, go check that out after the stream's over.
Yep. And then Meridian Marmot. What is the recommended process to revive, decontaminate a 1 to 2 year old legend coated vehicle? Would it be possible to top with more legend in the future without fully stripping the old coating? Well, this is also kind of where UCP comes in.
Yep. So I think that's kind of a double answer, and we'll let Dave answer the one about the pH of the soap because that's not something I know a lot about, but you could certainly use a soap. But if you need to revive it and, without fully stripping it, Ultra Coat Polish is definitely the answer for that. It is a great ceramic repair. It does not remove any of the ceramic, but when you have something that's a little bit, deeper, I've used it a lot on cap prints, water spots, things like that, and it just does an absolutely awesome job. The same day that we were working on that Subaru, we also had the Shelby 350 in here that Levi and I got to use Ultra Coat Polish to correct the ceramic, which had a lot of issues. And so absolutely for scratches and more major defects in the coating, Ultra Coat Polish is awesome. If you need to revive it and decontaminate it, Dave, you have...
So what was the pH part of what you said?
We had talked about how you want to use is it a higher pH
for decon wash?
To decon wash the ceramic, yeah.
So lowering the pH.
Oh, lower. Okay. That's why I didn't want to answer that question.
Actually,
so more of an acid.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be very acidic. It's just what you want to do is you want to get the pH just down a little bit, and then you get better adhesion.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah. And also, one way to revive or decontaminate Legend is also just to use the clay towel.
Yeah.
I mean, that does a really good job in itself. So, that's what I definitely use as my ceramic maintenance is I just use the clay towel and bead maker.
Yeah.
And I do like a 1-2 punch on it, and it decontaminates it, reseals it, good to go.
And the paint prep is designed to lower the pH a little bit.
Oh, okay. So that's good to know too.
Yeah. So I mean, that's if you're interested in just a simple way to do it. That's a very simple way to do it.
Nice.
The more you know.
Yeah. Gorilla Jeebus, Guten Abend from Germany. Can you explain why coatings need toppers? To replenish SiO2 or to reduce water spotting or both? Why would a coating need a topper?
So I guess the term need is kind of different, but they just perform better with a topper. What happens is microscopically the coatings have, just like paint coatings and clear coats, they have fissures on them. Mm-hmm. And what the topper does is it helps fill those in and kind of give it just a little bit more durability, a little more slip, a little bit more resistance to wear. So need is not necessarily the case. I mean, the coatings themselves are very hard and very chemically resistant, but the topper just helps.
Because some coatings you're sold on, they say after a year or two you need to apply this topper agent. And some people think that, it's just the same coating, you're putting the same coating on again, but that's not really the case usually.
So, we've, typically like bead maker as a topper product. And so there's really no reason to wait a year for that. If you were, looking at the end of the lifespan of the coating and you wanted to extend it, then you'd probably want something like, more like Sol or something if you're going to really
and that's
top it off with something a little bit. And then, in reality, you're putting more of kind of the same thing on there. But on a regular basis, you can kind of top off the coating pretty easily with bead maker.
Yeah, and as long as you got a layer of that on there, it really you've done your research. It extends the life quite a bit, actually.
Very drastically.
All right, there we go. Philip P&S, help me understand crystal wash. How fallout is removed and the concept around letting it dry to break down contamination. I feel this product is a possible lost jewel. Thank you.
Yeah, Crystal Wash originally, so it's a low pH cleaner. It's called Crystal Wash because it crystallizes when you let it dry.
Oh.
So typically people don't let it dry anymore, but originally the product was designed to spray on the surface, and the crystals as they form create a lot of physical tension on the surface, and they can actually help break loose the surface contaminants that are on there anyway. So you kind of have a double whammy. You got the low pH, which is going to help displace the particulate that's on the surface. As it dries, that pH is going to become more extreme as you lose water. And then as the crystals form, they're actually going to cause a physical, pushing on them.
Oh, like a physical friction almost.
Yeah, it actually just kind of breaks them loose a little bit. Just like, so as crystals form, they expand and contract, just like, ice actually is less dense than 4-degree water. So when ice actually turns into a solid, it expands a little tiny bit. So that's why things pop open when they freeze.
Okay. Well, that's why Dane's pipes broke at his house.
Yeah,
right.
Good fun, right?
So the same sort of process happens on the surface where it's just like it just nudges things a little bit, and then when you go to wash it off, it's done more.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's rad.
Well, it seems like somebody had a different approach to the traditional, you see in Europe, all the snow foaming and stuff like that. This sounds like a totally different approach to doing a similar idea.
Right. I think, like I said, I think most people don't let it dry anymore, but that was the original concept.
Okay.
It's a cool idea, though. All right, I've got Jeff.
I'm looking to start offering an annual express P&S Sol coating package to friends and family. For an average person who goes through a tunnel wash every 2 weeks, would Sol last for a year? I don't think so.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
That's a lot of punishment.
Yeah. So, and I think this is kind of a twofold question. So I think that it's great to offer that. I think that it's going to last them a longer protection than, say, like a spray sealant or something like that. But, I mean, tunnel washes, it's friction, right? And friction breaks down the coating. And so, Sol, in my experience, Sol lasts longer when it's added as a topper to Legend or Inspiration. As a standalone, it's going to wear down pretty fast in those tunnel washes. I would say, that you can really count on it for probably, I've seen them last 6 months or so. Mm-hmm. So I do think it's a good option. I'm not saying it's a bad option, but I would maybe be careful about that 1 year statement.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And then Shad simply saying, let's go.
All right, Shad. All right.
And
Dino.
Dino.
Hello, awesome people. What's going on? Thanks, Dino. Bait addicts in the house saying, sup, spring baiters. And Poets, happy Friday Eve. Happy Friday Eve. And Jeff C., is a quick wash clay paint prep sufficient to recoat with Sol every 12 months? Yeah, technically.
All right.
Yeah, especially if you don't have to do a lot of correction or anything like that.
Sure.
Umberto, hello, TRC team, first from Puerto Rico. And then says, waiting for the new reveal.
Got a lot of that going on.
Hello, everyone. Well, that's because they're 20 minutes ago. We already dropped it for them so they could see it. And then Razors saying, hello, everyone.
All right. Now I got to pop up to a new page. Sydney, you wanted to get like a soda or something, right?
Oh, I'm good.
Maybe if we say it right here, maybe Gabe will hear us and he'll go
Gabe,
get one.
bring Sydney a Squirt Zero.
There we go.
Anybody could hear the lady
That's what I was
whispering.
hinting towards.
Yeah. This lady's whispering. Bait Addict saying, hey, Dave, is the slickness of a coating important when it comes to surface tension when washing? What makes a coating slick?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of physicists that want to give you a year's class on what makes things slippery. It is a really nebulous topic, to tell you the truth. Usually it's things, like either there's some microscopic thing that's round and there's rolling, or there's plates that are sliding on each other. To tell you the truth, for something like Bead Maker, because it's a durable, fairly durable coating or surface, the deal is I don't know what really makes it slippery. It doesn't match. It doesn't match the physics. I literally have gone back and tried to find, what makes a reduction in friction.
Yeah.
And it's always described as some sort of microscopic sliding of like materials against each other. So, however, that being said, even though I don't know the physics, the slickness is important because the slickness and the slip is what it's called mar and slip. And so a slick or slippery surface doesn't scratch as easily. And so things don't stick to it, things don't scratch it. So when you go to rub on it, it just doesn't leave a mark anymore because it just slides over the top. So the slickness is extremely important in washing. But when it comes to surface tension when washing, so I can explain why a soap is slippery because it follows the physics perfectly. When you do a detergent or a soap, what it does is it forms these little things called micelles, and what they are is they kind of collect whatever oil or dirt and they make little balls on it. They're called micelles. And it's an important concept in cleaning because the micelle content, it's called the critical micelle content. I'm sorry to get so deep in this, is how much cleaning capacity the cleaner has, the soap or detergent has. So as long as you're getting those little balls forming, you're getting both a slippery surface and a cleaning surface.
Okay.
So that works. I mean, so all that sliding, the balls just basically roll. So that's why those are slippery.
Makes sense. There you go.
Mr. Trollin86, what's up, TRC and P&S crew? Appreciate all you guys and the great content.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bearded. What is up, everyone? Hey there, Sydney and Dave. Glad to have y'all at TRC. Hope you all have an awesome Friday Eve. Thank you, Bearded Hunter.
Thank you, Bearded Hunter.
Very nice of you. And
Dan says this is a nice upgrade from Anthony.
Oh, man, make sure he sees that, I guess.
Poet saying, what's a chemist's opinion of a foaming product like Brake Buster? Is this detrimental to the intensity of the product?
It's interesting because you guys came up with the foaming Brake Buster idea and the IK foamer and the dilution.
10 to 1.
10 to 1 now, because it was 5 to 1
Used to be
before.
5 to 1, now it's 10 to 1.
Now it's 10 to 1. So So I think what it does is there's a couple of things in the process of foaming is you're adding energy to the process when you're doing it, and also you add cling. And the product still seems to perform really well.
Yeah, when we diluted it even more, doing 10-to-1, we found there was no real change in cleaning ability on a dirty car from 5-to-1 to 10-to-1 when putting it in a foamer.
And that is basically because brake busters are very concentrated material.
Yeah.
So you're still leaving the ability. Typically, I was talking about the micelle count. Typically, what you see is when you start diluting a cleaner, is the 100% cleaning is up here, but we'll say 90% cleaning because you don't usually get 100% cleaning. Through the dilution, it'll flow out like this and drop a little bit, and then it drops off precipitously. So before you get to that point, though, you only get marginal degradation of cleaning.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's cool. Cynthia, hey TRC and P&S gang.
Hey.
And then Prins, one of our Netherlands folks. Yes, King's Day, free day from work. There you go. And then people saying hi to Hans. We're on 4, I think.
We go back.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, we are on
3. 4. No, we're on 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
And then Bill Pearson saying, hi, Sydney. Howdy, chaps from sunny SoCal.
Hi, Bill.
From the deep south there.
Back to that again.
Mr. Trollin 86. Hans, I'm also Dutch, born in Hilversum, due back for another trip to the motherland. Mr. Trollin. Then Ratan, hey guys, first of all, I'd like to thank the Rag Company for putting on TRCMA 2022.
Thank you for
You're
appreciating
welcome.
it.
Thank you for watching.
A lot of people worked very hard on that, so thank you from all of them.
Cynthia saying hi to Umberto. Barry saying hello, TRC and P&S team. Sydney and Dave from Tampa, Florida. Thank you, Barry. And then Phil, happy Friday Eve all. What can you do to get rid of off-gassing from interior dressings? Allow the dressing to do its thing, then clean the inside of the windshield? This is a combination of a lot of stuff I've found. Now, am I wrong, but hanging tree air fresheners do a lot of off-gassing.
Yeah.
Certain types of plastics that the cars are manufactured with have varying levels of off-gassing. And then just
the glue and the
and then
carpet.
just
glue in the carpets and
stuff you
stuff.
put in the car. So I had done so typically if you're going to do an interior dressing, you want to pick a dressing that's made for interiors, right? So a lot of times you use just any, whatever dressing you have, but a dressing that's specifically designed for interiors is designed not to do that, not to create any off-gassing. I've actually, it was kind of interesting. It was just a car. I mean, cars do just have volatiles that are in them, and they can be from the plastics, they can be from the carpets, they can be from stuff you've spilled in your car. They can be all sorts of things, but I'd actually done a test where I had a car that was doing a lot of that haze on the windows, and it was driving me crazy. Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but you don't get that haze in the summer. You only get that haze. I mean, if you never clean your car, you eventually the haze does.
Well, that same haze that was there before is still there.
If you clean up the haze and you kind of get your car cleaned up, you don't really get that. When you see that is where the windows are cool and the inside of the car is warm, because you're evaporating the volatiles that are in there, and they're condensing on the window. Now, I actually saw this happen in a test. I thought it was just amazing, where it was on one half of the car.
Yeah.
So the next day, and this is like in the spring or the fall, I can't remember exactly when I did it, but it's typically cool air outside, but sun shining on the car.
Yeah.
Okay. Next day, I parked my car the other direction. All the haze was on the other window. Completely left the one window and went to the other window, just because it just re-evaporated and then went to the other window. Now, eventually, it's just going to keep flopping back and forth, and it's going to stick there. So you eventually get that haze built up, but it's all volatiles.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also notice it if I don't drive a car. Like Dane, I have quite the fleet of vehicles, so I have something different to choose from every day if I feel like it. But if I don't drive one of them, like I hopped in the red truck.
Yeah.
Red truck, last time that I haven't cleaned that front windshield since the car show last year.
It's been a minute.
It hasn't been cleaned. But then again, no one's been in it.
No.
Right.
Right? And the car, I did the no rub coating on it and on the dash plastics and everything, and left it and haven't touched it. But what do I do have in there? A couple Christmas tree air fresheners chilling out on the glass. And I noticed the other night when I was driving, I was like, oh my gosh. And
there we go.
Sleeve, and I was checking to make sure I got it all off. But it was, but I noticed that if I don't drive a vehicle and it just sits in the sun,
right.
Well, it's going
to heat up in the day and cool off in the night. You're going to get
keeps doing it.
Repetitious evaporation and condensation.
I also park all my cars in show position in my driveway.
Oh, natural.
So the sun rises right on my vehicles every morning. So when I walk out, there's a nice sunshine on both vehicles. I feel good, ready to conquer the day.
It's car show every day.
Yeah, it's car show every day at my house. So, but that totally makes sense because the way I park my vehicles. I'm sure if I flipped them around the other way, I probably wouldn't have near as much off-gassing. So,
a thought.
Gorilla Jeebus, I'm 99% rinseless washing. What's best for bug removal? O&R pre-soaked 256 to 1 or forced green star at 1 to 10 cars coated? Man, O&R works great at taking off bugs. It's very simple, Gorilla Jeebus. If you haven't picked up any Jersey bug scrubbers from the rag company, you should. But just O&R pre-soaked 256 to 1 and a bug scrubber will get it. Now, if it's vicious bugs, forced or green star 10 to 1, you can totally do that. It'll help break it up. But realistically, you can do just O&R.
Now, would Bug Off be friendly to the coating?
Yes.
Or P&S Bug
That's
Off?
what I was going to. I was going to direct because of our friends
I'm
here.
a huge Bug Off fan, and I use it on all coated cars.
Yeah.
I do it 1 to 10, or not 1 to 10, 1 to 1, or you can also dilute it a little bit more. But
that's specially designed to break down.
Yeah, Bug Off with the Jersey Bug Scrubber is. I'm too lazy to use anything, like O&R. I mean, O&R probably works, but I'm like, let's just get this done. I do not like bugs. So I go straight to Bug Off, and it works great. Does not hurt the coating at all. It is really good.
There you go. Next up, Jamie, the cleaner, saying, hello, Dave. I recently gave my thoughts on the ever-popular topic of BeadMaker and its mass hysteria dusting issue. If you've seen said video, what is the official P&S team's response?
So we did see the video.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So, and we really actually appreciate your thoughts, and we really appreciate the effort and the time that you put into it. Really nicely done.
Yeah.
I think we actually commented on your video at the time. So, so our current opinion is that most of the products do collect dust. I've done, we've mentioned that we did a 16 square study on a vehicle, and really, BeadMaker was one of the ones that collected dust, but it wasn't the worst. There were basically, I'd say we were like in the lower of the lower third. So we're not the worst. It is certainly a topic that's very common now.
So environment dependent.
Huh?
Environment dependent.
Oh, it's environment dependent for sure. I mean, I only see it like once a year.
Because I was like, some of us have been using it for a long time and don't experience that. But it doesn't mean other people aren't having that experience. I totally get that.
I had that comment with Jamie the other night, and we were chatting, and I said, I've never seen personally, what I've noticed is if I put a full application of BeadMaker on a vehicle the way it's supposed to do it, and I leave the car outside overnight, and I don't pull it in my garage, and I leave it kind of out to the dewy weather and then I'll notice that it seems to attract, because I don't feel like it's ever properly had the ability to cure properly. Yeah. But then again, it's pollen season. The neighbor could have been out there with his leaf blower. Yeah. Could have been out there mowing the lawn. Yeah. There could have been, the street sweeper coming by. There's a ton of just environmental things that could happen.
This parking lot with that
this parking
going
lot.
on.
Yeah, you go BeadMaker car in this park. You go put anything on a car in this parking lot.
I don't care what you're putting on.
It's gonna dust because there's dust on the ground.
Magically kicks the dust off.
Yeah,
maybe that would be cool.
It'd probably be less dust. But the point is, I said most of the time I notice people that when their first line, BeadMaker dusted.
It's always more of a targeted mentality of like, no, it's this thing and nothing else. It's like, well, hold on.
Yeah. and they don't ever say, usually when you call them out, they go, well, my neighbor just got done mowing his lawn and was running his leaf blower. And it's like, okay, well, that's all your cars. The whole neighborhood's getting dusted.
Yeah. Well, and
it has nothing to do with that.
Yeah. And I think sometimes it can also be, it's like anything else. If someone says, "Have you noticed the traffic's worse? Have you noticed that this is worse? Have you noticed the lines at the grocery store are longer?" I think that it makes people hypersensitive to it. If somebody says, "Oh, it does," because I think I don't see any extraordinary dust over other products. What I do notice is that if my car's dirty and I go out and drive and I come home, I could care less whatever else just happened to it. If it's perfectly clean and mirror shiny, then I notice.
Right.
But it doesn't matter what I put on it. Or if I don't put anything on it, it looks exactly the same. So I think it's just like the inference of, it's dust, and then they look and go, "Oh yeah, it dusted."
Or like Dane buying a right-hand drive van. All of a sudden, he sees right-hand drive vans everywhere.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. They're all over the place.
Yeah, he's like,
they were always there. You just weren't paying attention.
Right. Exactly. So I think that's part of it.
For the GTA effect.
we did enjoy Jamie's video, and I think that he had some good points in it, and we hear and see it all.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, we're paying attention. So I think that's the bottom line. We don't want to, make you think that or have you think that we're not paying attention to these things. And we are, when if we're able to make an improvement, then we're gonna definitely follow through on that.
Obviously, without fundamentally changing the reason people love the product in the first place.
Yeah, we are a little bit stuck by that because we do have there are like 5 or 6 performance criteria that we really like about it, and we can't compromise those.
Yeah, if you made something that didn't do those things, but it meant it wasn't BeadMaker anymore, then it's not BeadMaker anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Levi Rotus.
Saying, hey everyone. Hey, Levi. Jamie the Cleaner asking what sounds like fighting words. Would we ever see BeadMaker 2.0 become a reality?
That took about 2 seconds.
You were at a high and then you just had to bring it on down.
It's always that guy.
He was like, what I really meant to ask was.
Don't worry, Jamie. I'll still invite you for your pre and post show.
There you go. Matthew Disbrow. Hello from Perfection Plus Auto Salon in Ashland. What's going on, man?
Hey.
And then Kirby Thompson saying hello TRC crew and guests, Sydney and Dave. Kirby, how's it going, man? And Gransky 2007, greetings from Toronto.
Greetings.
And then Shad, what pad would you pair up UCP with for ceramic coatings?
This is a great question. So, in my experience, it's quite a few of them, actually.
Oh, all of them work.
Yeah, not all of them. Maybe don't grab a maroon. No, actually, you can use it, and this is where I adjust what pad I'm using to correct the ceramic depending on how bad the issue is. Right. So if you're just wanting to kind of, do a good kind of reset polish on the ceramic, you could go with white, or an orange. And then if you have some other defects like water spots, for some reason I get cat prints all the time. So I deal with cat prints a lot. And then I'll use a yellow, works really nice. The only time I would go as far as a blue would be if you're planning on topping it with Sol. Yeah. Putting a true topper back on.
In case you're wondering, Sydney's talking about buff and shine pads.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I am.
Pads.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
So soft.
Color system. Yes. So soft, you can use soft for if you're totally resetting the car. If you have some defects, you're going to want to use, a finishing pad, a finishing polishing pad. The only time you're going to go up to more of a cutting pad would be if you have kind of major defects, it will work in that situation, but I wouldn't use those unless you are putting back on a product like Sol, more of a true ceramic topper.
You might be able to get away with like a yellow Rupes wool.
Yeah,
the yellow.
I would say the most common pad that I use with UCP on ceramic is the yellow.
Okay,
so
there you go.
Of course, the other variable you could slow down the machine quite a bit. Too.
Yeah,
take the energy out of it quite a bit, and then just let it flow.
Slower speed. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
There you go, Shad.
All right.
Hans says Anthony got banned to the corner. Levi saying, "Hey Jamie, it's Prodigy," and then Hans and all of them laughing. And
there we go.
Awesome I love to. Carson Stenik. It's Carson, the little guy. Love seeing Ultracot releasing. It really finished out great on his Subaru.
Yeah, we talked about your Subaru XT earlier.
It's awesome. And then I don't know what that says, but hey there. Thank you so much for your videos and amazing guests. I have dusting issues with paint gloss. Am I crazy?
What?
Just 24 hours and the car becomes dusty while standing in the place. Yeah, that's any product. I think you've probably got a dusty
just
area.
had that full discussion.
Yeah, I'm sure as wind kicked up.
Yeah.
I mean, I washed my cars last night and it rained.
Oh, yeah.
And
Same.
the tree that they're parked under dropped a bunch of pollen. So I have a bunch of pollen and dust and
Although
rain
all things
spots.
considered, paint gloss should be.
But I wash my cars and I
reducing
put product
that
on top of it.
likelihood.
Yeah, I think the products aren't going to actually repel. I mean, if you're in a situation where dust is just landing everywhere, there's not really anything you can do. And like Sydney said, when you're the cleaner your surface is, the better it looks. The more that things like dust stand out. I call it the clean spot syndrome, right? It's like, oh, there's another one, and so.
Yeah. But yeah, try and see what where was it parked? What's the environment? If it's in a garage and you've got, you're like, this is crazy. My garage is clean and nice and my floors are washed and all that. Like, shouldn't have this much dust. That's another thing. But if it's been parked outside and you've had neighbors driving by and all that kind of stuff, it's something you can't control at that point. Yep. Keith, saying Ultra Coat polish is always the answer.
Yes, we use that phrase a lot. Whenever in doubt, it's Ultra Coat's always the answer. Yep.
Graham saying, happy Friday Eve, lads. So
trying to stretch it.
He's got Levi Anthony, Dave, Dane, and Sydney.
Oh, nice. Oh, very creative. Yeah.
Excited to see you in a couple weeks.
Actually, he's a dentist, DDS.
Yeah. And then he says, I tried Bead Maker plus paint gloss. Just paint gloss itself, still dusty issues. I'd like to know where you're parking that.
Yeah.
That we could see. Kirby says, does P&S have a master list of recommended dilution ratios for all the products? Buying gallons, and many do not list recommended ratios.
I don't think we do.
Yeah, no, we don't. We don't. But also, because I see this a lot out there on social media. So sometimes when the gallons don't list a dilution recommendation, it's because they're not supposed to be diluted. So that's one quick tip there, because I do see one of the craziest questions we get all the time is, what is the dilution ratio for Bead Maker?
Right. You don't dilute it.
There's not one. So use it full strength. So generally speaking, that's kind of a quick tip, but you can always reach out to us and we're always happy to answer. But most of those that have multiple dilution ratios, I think most of them are printed on the labels, like EnviroClean and Carpet Bomber and stuff. I mean, most of them are on the back of the gallon labels.
Yeah.
So if you are starting with a pint or a quart, you might need to check in with us. But I think on most of the gallons that are meant to be diluted, it's on there. The only one I can think probably would be Breakbuster, because
Breakbuster originally wasn't designed to be diluted, and people just have.
Yeah, the IK kind of changed that. Yeah,
a very strong. It's a very concentrated cleaner.
Yeah.
So there is room for it. Some of it's historical because when Breakbuster was originally put together, remember we were fighting against acid.
Yeah.
Wheel cleaners,
right,
and trying to get as close as we could to an acid wheel cleaner where you just spray it on and spray it off and it's lickety split clean, because don't use acid wheel cleaners.
Yeah. Speaking of, though, I saw a conversation of guys on TikTok one guy posted and goes, "This stuff's the best," and it was a P&S's acid wheel cleaner.
Oh, don't. And we sell it, but don't use it.
But he was spraying it, and he's like, "Look at this. This is the way to do it." And I go, "You need to be wearing a respirator. You need to be wearing gloves. You need to be don't just be spraying that." Right. And it's not a product that
your bloodstream is half that now.
I was just from a kid who's been using hydrofluoric acids for 25 years.
Yeah. This is the sort of thing where regulation really works well.
Yeah.
Because we can't ship it anywhere anyway.
Yeah.
And nobody should have this in there. There's nobody that should have this in their house. Right. So it's pretty much a professional only material. If I'm a professional, I'm at a dealership or somebody and the car's coming through really quick, I use it once.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to use it 2 or 3 times on the same wheel. Any of those things. So basically, don't use that.
It's like a reset.
So Dave, I used to work at the car wash just down the street here, and the first arch was an HF arch.
Yeah.
That would foam HF onto the cars, the first step, And then if you had a busy Saturday and you were plugging cars through there, and you were the kid in the prep bay setting cars through, by the time that car made it through and the fans kicked on to dry the car off, every single car that was going through was getting a blast of air from that HF arch back to me. And I'd just sit back there breathing. And we'd make jokes if somebody would lose their voice because they were prepping cars.
I mean, if somebody forced
and it was
somebody
only
to walk
because of the
through
HF.
there,
Yeah.
That was the only reason you lose your voice. So anyway,
the old days.
Yeah, the whole day.
You can't always go, boy, those were the good old days.
Those were the good old days.
Not necessarily.
I worry about all the damage it's done to my body. So forced induction, and then there were 2 special guests. Awesome. Mm-hmm. And then Sam Coppola, Dave Phillips in the house. Love the P&S all-purpose cleaner, an underrated product in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and it's gaining traction now. But it's been a slow growth. It's a nice product, but we don't tell anybody about it really. Yeah. It's not one of those products we've really marketed heavily. I mean, an all-purpose cleaner is just like, sure, everybody's got an all-purpose cleaner, but it is a nice product.
Yeah. Levi saying, "Hey, Sydney, it's Prodigy."
Hey, thanks for the video yesterday. So Prodigy won. We did a contest after TRCMA. We did a contest for Undressed and Dressed. And Prodigy was our TikTok winner.
Nice.
And so he did an unboxing yesterday, and it was such a great video. And I smiled the whole way through it. So thank you so much for that. That was awesome. Nice. I hope you enjoyed all the products and the extra special goodies that you got. And we loved your video. I shared it with the whole team, and they all loved it.
Nice. There you go. Dan Smith with a $20 super chat.
Very kind of you, sir.
Thank you, Dan.
Very nice.
Saying, I've switched to Shape Up. Is it dilutable?
On interiors, yeah, I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. On tires, I don't think so.
Okay.
You?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't dilute it.
Yeah.
On exterior, I wouldn't dilute it at all. On interior, you certainly could do 1-to-1. Yeah.
There you go. Matthew Disbrow saying, the scent of Beadmaker is amazing. Please don't change it.
Amen.
I know.
Amen.
Do you guys want to scoot a little more this way? I'm
you
just
guys are
looking
sliding
again,
off the
it's
table.
We'll get you there. All right, Sid.
All right, Carissa saying, FYI, I did a 50-50 Beadmaker and no Beadmaker on black glass in my house. No extra dust. In fact, less and easy to dust after that. I think it's our eyes. We notice everything on cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go, Carissa.
Paranoia sets in.
Nathan West saying, happy Thursday Eve, everyone. What's P&S's detailing products do you also use for household cleaning? What P&S products?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I use a lot.
I'm the odd man. I don't use anything.
Nope.
I use
Inside
O&R.
your house? Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
just
use a lot.
O&R.
So I use Express on my leather couch because my animals climb all over it and my kids eat.
I use Express here on this leather couch.
They eat all their after-school snacks on the couch. So I use Express on the couch a lot. I certainly use the leather treatment. I use a lot of the actually the green all-purpose cleaner I use in my laundry. I also use it to spray all of my polishing pads before I wash them. I use obviously the glass cleaner on all my mirrors and stuff. I use Beadmaker on my mirrors.
I do like Beadmaker on the mirrors. It's pretty crazy.
I use the carpet system all the time.
Yeah, I do that. I guess I do that. I did it this weekend.
Yeah, I use the carpet system all the time. So I use a lot.
I use the carpet system quite a bit. Terminator, Carpet Bomber, and Finisher. I end up using those a lot on the carpet when we have spots and stuff. We have cats.
Yeah.
And then also, I walk in and out of the house, so I do change my shoes before I come home from work. But still, it's still we use the carpet system a lot. I use Beadmaker all over the kitchen.
Yeah,
me too.
And I use it on. I also use it on glass. I use it on the interior of glass.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, on
the
interior of glass.
Yep.
What else? Yeah, I use the Express Interior a lot on things like the couch, like leather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
You go.
I like it.
Kirby Thompson with the
I need to
two-parter.
start using more Beadmaker in my kitchen. Kirby Thompson,
we have a one of the glass countertops. I mean, what glass stoves? The inductive things, the solid glass thing. It's the only thing Bead Maker's the only thing I can get that thing clean with.
Nice.
I can use glass cleaner like 3 times and still have like some little spot, but I can use Bead Maker and a Bead Maker towel.
Yeah.
And bam, it's like one time.
Nice.
Even if it has like grease on it.
Oh, it's pretty good.
I forgot of another good one. Clarity cream on all the chrome fixtures in the shower.
Clarity
Makes
cream,
it so easy. Takes the water spots off. We have really hard water here in Idaho, so it does great on the chrome fixtures.
There you go.
Awesome.
So Kirby,
I've given up using natural finish on rubber mats and WeatherTech mats due to all the results are slick. Sorry, Sydney.
Then he follows up.
That's a bummer because
Could it be easier to undress?
So we have that video. Everybody, for the most part, absolutely loves it. I do it on every single car, every single day. I think I've had one set that was like a knockoff of WeatherTech that kind of stayed a little bit slippery, but for the most part, I don't ever. And I've talked to Tom on offline about this, and I think that you can always buff it down, but I've never had I don't even take a towel to most of the floor mats that I do, but sometimes I do. And when I do, it literally takes it all off. So I'm not sure what your issue is, Tom. I'm sorry about that. I do it every single day and I love it.
And I just talked about this too in the podcast when I was explaining the floor mats. So I use dynamic.
Yeah, and I use floor
mats.
Yeah.
And what I usually do is I'll take it and I'll give it just a quick mist of Express and a dry towel, and I'll wipe it down, or I'll hit it with my steamer after I've dressed it.
Yeah.
I'll hit it with my steamer and just blast it with some steam and wipe it with a towel just to knock down the sheen and that slipperiness.
Yeah.
But I usually can get that pretty quick with just a little blast of that.
Yeah. The other thing you could certainly try is maybe dilute the natural finish. I use it full strength, but try diluting it, 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 and see if that makes it any better. Because it's still going to work. And, maybe spray it on and wipe it off right away and don't let it sit. Here, and I don't know if this is an environmental thing. For me, it works every single day. But the other thing I do during the summer, and I can't remember if I mentioned this in the video, is that I spray it with the natural finish and then I let it sit outside in the sun and it literally bakes and absorbs the natural finish. And then it turns out great and I don't even have to wipe it. So I'm not sure what your weather is there or whatever, but I would try maybe diluting the natural finish a little bit. You can absolutely do that. And then like Levi said, definitely, try a squirt of Express Interior and wipe them down and see if that makes it better.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the dilution idea is pretty good. You got to remember. We're trying to put some dressing on there, so it's it has to do its dressing job, and maybe it's just too much for a mat for some people's taste.
Han saying, Dave, what's the scent used in Pit Stop?
I can't remember.
Matthew Disbrow, Nathan, I use interior cleaner sometimes.
Were we going to bring up the off-road products and stuff?
We can after after our break here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that then. Okay. So we'll probably have more to say about the fragrance and Pit Stop.
Yeah.
GR saying Clarity Cream has been amazing for headlight restoration.
Are you? So, I don't know if we can ask questions back, but are you using it on plastic headlights? Because I have never tried that, so that's intriguing to me.
Check it out. Gorilla Jeebus, has anyone of you tried Polish Angel Cosmic Spritz? Heard it's worth the enormous price tag. I have not. Sorry,
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I know the product you're talking about. It's a European brand, Polish Angel.
Okay.
Heaven sent wicked. Wicked results.
Is this like a air freshener?
No, it's a detailing brand.
Oh, okay.
Go Detailer, go. Yo, I want to thank you guys for the care package. I received it yesterday. Woohoo, you guys rock. You're welcome, man.
Enjoy.
He was one of the winners during TRCMA.
Won the Rupas giveaway.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to make this new name for this person right here, this next one, Dane, if you want to put it on the screen. I'm going to call him Baby Dave.
Baby Dave. That's nice.
Is P&S ever planning on making an APC? They do.
It's so funny you should ask.
Yes. It's called, surprisingly, APC.
There you go.
Yeah,
you can go on their website. They've got lots of products, guys.
Yeah. So, and as we mentioned earlier, I like the product a lot. It's a good product.
Yeah. So we have the green. It's literally called All-Purpose Cleaner. It was recently relabeled, so it has nice, fresh new labels. And then EnviroClean is technically an APC, right?
Yeah. 2 different chemistries. And the APC is actually more of an older traditional general purpose cleaner. EnviroClean would be kind of a modernized version of it.
Cool.
Not a modernized version of an APC, but not of APC.
Yeah. Nice.
Fair.
Rob, do you think Full Send will also make a good engine bay detailer due to its self-leveling capability? Just put an order in to try it out.
Yes. Yes.
Short answer.
Absolutely.
Phil Bloomer. Meant to say greetings from Salisbury, UK, guys. Lol. Having a major dust buildup on issues following the application of an SiO2 sealant to my daily. Granted, it's a black 2021 Toyota Corolla. Any tips?
We actually just discussed all that, but
a lot of these.
We can offer a tip, perhaps.
What's the tip?
My tip is.
Well, I was waiting for somebody to chime in.
I'll say
maybe
mine.
A detailer.
If you don't want to see dust on your car, don't buy a black car. That's
there you go. Awesome.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there's a tip for you.
So, Phil, there's a lot. It depends on the product you're using. It depends on where you're parking, what you're seeing. And just like we discussed earlier, it's a black car.
Yeah. It's like a mirror. You're going to see everything. So, yeah, it's part of the fun of owning a black car. I love a good black car. I'll probably never own one again, but I've owned several in the past, and I love black cars. They're so
they're
pretty
awesome
when they're clean.
But then what do you do with the other thing that are the 5 minutes that
it's like,
clean?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say. Is that span is literally 5 minutes. No matter what you have on it, what you do to it, you got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a friend who's very... He's likes his cars a lot. All of his cars, except for one, are all white.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
That's fair. Dave, you were going to jump in and say something. You were like right on the cusp there.
Well, I mean, I have a theory. I'm not sure. But I have a theory that, when you put a coating on a car, what you're doing is you're putting a non-conductive layer on that surface. And so what that's going to do is it's going to create basically a surface level capacitor. So what's going to happen is it's going to by doing that it's going to collect a charge on the surface. The idea being that you can add anti-stats and that sort of stuff to a product to cut back on that charge, but it's going to want to build up anyway. Your car's driving through the air. It's when things go through the air, they collect negative charges off the air, and so that's going to create a partial charge on the surface, going to attract dust. It's just the nature of the beast.
There you go. That's how the world
a solid
works.
Answer right there.
It's energy. Philip Van Booven, ideal dilution ratios for undressed.
I only use it full strength.
Yeah, I think the thing is, there's a lot of dirt on tires, and they tend to have things like dressings on there, and then they have layers of dirt, and maybe another dressing and another layer of dirt.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are going to combine to just take up a lot of soap.
Yeah.
A lot of cleaner, and so when you dilute it out, you have less cleaner.
Right.
It's just hard to fight that.
Yeah, and undressed, I mean, we're primarily using that to strip off all the old dressings, to get rid of all that browning. So we're using it in a pretty, like we have a goal in mind. And so I would think you'd always want it at full strength because that's what we're really trying to do is get the most stripping ability out of that product that we can. So
there you go.
All right.
Alex says he's going to wear some orange on King's Day, and he wants Hans to go live.
Nice.
And then Umberto saying congratulations to Go Detailer Go. And then Hans says, City, did you start your book yet? Named Detailing Tips by the Queen of P&S.
I have not. But here's a good opportunity to say, Hans, I hope you follow our P&S newsletter. That has been out for, a couple months now. And you can always find the blog posts on our P&S website. So if you missed that, and so there is several of my tips written on the P&S blog on pnsdetailproducts.com.
Yeah.
Nice.
You do one every one?
Every other.
Every
Kyle
other.
and I switch back and forth.
And then we take a turn on occasion.
Yep.
There's a great answer. And probably one more here before we round out.
This is a big one.
A brief little break, so let's touch on this.
Ratone saying, today, the timing was perfect as the blue can arrived at my door directly from England.
Very cool.
Ratone 502.
Congrats.
I assume was the golden ticket winner.
Wow.
From the Stiarnagloss giveaway.
Well,
So,
congrats.
Congratulations, man. Lucky dog.
All right, I should probably have
All right.
another one here.
All right, one more. Amber Atkinson saying, using Ultracoat to revive, will that work theoretically on any ceramic coating or best on P&S ceramic coatings?
So it works great on P&S coatings. I have used it on several other brands that have worked just fine. I've used it on IGL, Fine Lab, and G-Technic, and it all worked just fine. So I can't speak for all coatings, but all of the ones that I've used it on have worked just fine. Like anything else, always recommend doing a very small test spot that if for some reason you felt like it did totally remove the coating, you would be in a position to reapply it. So just do a test and start off with a soft pad and kind of see how that coating is reacting to it. But I have not found an issue with the coatings that I've used it on.
Okay.
There you go.
And on that note, I believe we're going to take a short break, but we'll be back after these messages. So if you're going to go anywhere, make sure you're back within a couple of minutes. Grab a drink, whatever you're going to do, and then get relaxed because we're going to come back for another hour of answering your detailing questions right after this. Hello, and welcome back to Hour 2 of Q&A Thursday, where we have, of course, Levi and I, but also some wonderful guests here from P&S. Dave, Mr. Chemist himself, and Sydney, hometown P&S, awesome person. So we have some products in front of us, the off-road line, among others. And we'll definitely be answering questions. But of course, this is the new hotness, so you may want to talk about that. But we've got a lot of questions to get through here.
Let's go through some of these questions. We'll get caught up, and then we'll talk about where we can bit.
First up, broadcast music.
It's Chuck and Carson again from Chicago, Black Subaru XT. We'd like to ask Dave about using ceramic coating on granite kitchen countertops. Would this be food safe after it dries? #sidebiz.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't answer that and really know. I mean, I think it is, but no, I can't say
the FDA
that you can't. That is not
that.
FDA approved, and so I would have to be cautious
you would
on that.
Prevent yourself from actually saying those exact words.
Yes. Alex saying, I need that off-road line in Canada. I know you're working on it.
I know, Alex. I'm working on it.
One step at a time.
AMK Boaz saying, P&S or McGuire's? Well, P&S because our crew's here. Come on, man. David Cervantes, what's up, guys? I have some photos from a nasty detail I had using the new off-road line. Nice. Cool.
Share those in the group on Facebook there, the Rag Company group. We always love seeing what goes on there. And plus, you could share it with P&S crew as well, because I'm sure they'd love to see.
They're in the group, too. And then Shoemaker, hey, Dave. Any relation to Mike Phillips?
Cousin Mike?
Cousin Mike of Auto Geek.
Mike. No official
formerly
relation.
Auto Geek, now 3D. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're no official relation. We have a good friendly relationship.
There you go. And then broadcast saying again, David, Sydney, and the Ragco crew gang were so good to us when we visited and did the Wash Wednesday. Just want to express that Sydney is the best brand ambassador in the business.
Oh, that's so
lucky
nice.
to have her.
Nice.
Yes. It was so fun to spend the day with you guys.
Yeah, you guys were awesome.
And Go T-Tailor Go, can you guys recommend a good channel to learn wheel polishing on, or even a reputable class? I'm going to be ordering some Renegade products to get going, but I definitely need a good mentor. Any tips? But wheel polishing specifically.
So, I don't know
if there wasn't 8,000
So
different
Renegade
types of wheels
is just a detailing product company, but more and more truckers are using it.
Okay.
And a lot of their marketing is based towards the trucking community.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say yes or no as to whether or not they are the best product for that. In terms of metal polishing, there's a lot of metal polishers that are real deal metal smiths at that and do a great job. I will say P&S's Metal Bright always keeps Air Force One looking top notch, as well as a number of planes, and has always worked really well polishing metal. And the
before and afters are always amazing.
Is insane. It's an insane product and works really well. There's no metal is how's the easy way to say it? Aluminum polishing is very similar to paint polishing. There are sanding phases, there are compounding phases, there are polishing phases, and it really depends on the breakdown of all of those. But you can get quite a bit. I've done some light metal polishing where I've taken scoured some metal. I buy old wheels off of Craigslist, and then I'll take a green scouring pad and I'll scour it, and then I'll hit it with some 3,000 and 4,000 grit sandpaper and wash the whole wheel down after I've acid washed it to stretch it all out, and then I literally go into it with just Metal Bright and some wool pads or foam pads, and you work it until it gets as shiny as you possibly want to make it.
Yeah, Metal Bright hits that spot like it's not the most aggressive, so you usually need to find like you do a scuff pad, that sort of stuff. I've seen it used in combination with Metal Bright and a scuff pad. It hits the middle ground where you're doing some good solid cleaning to some pretty almost finished work. But if you're going for that last step, then you're going to move again to another product. But it's shiny. I mean, we finished Air Force One with it. So that's fine. But I mean, if you're one of those people that really wants the mirror, you gotta.
Well, you gotta work for the mirror too.
You gotta work for the mirror. You gotta know what you're doing. And then the wheel adds a whole new level, which I wouldn't even know where to tell you where to start.
Yeah, because there's different angles, different machines, depending on what kind of metal and what type of panels you're doing.
I wonder what Scott would say.
Who's the gal is it Chelsea Longbottom that's the Buffin Queen?
Yeah.
She's been doing a ton of metal. And she might be a good resource. Go Detailer Go. I check her out on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. She's on all of them, and she's on YouTube too.
Yep.
Ask her some questions. She's been getting into where she's polishing tanks, fuel tanks and stuff, and it's hard work. I'll tell you that right now. It's hard, dirty work, and but it's pretty wicked. There's not a lot of people that are good at it.
Right.
I always have to cringe when people go like, okay, I have this pontoon boat.
Yeah.
And you go, okay.
First, let's get some sandpaper because we got to sand that sucker down.
Yeah. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Zach Vasilinda.
There we go.
Saying, what would be the best maintenance wash pre-soak product from P&S to use before a rinseless or waterless wash? Something that I might use instead of Built, Hamber, Auto Foam, or Touchless. Maintenance wash pre-soak product. APC is great.
Yeah. So I use two. I alternate between the two. So I'm sure most of you know, primarily I do like 98% rinseless wash. And so if I have a pretty dirty car, I will alternate. The majority I say is I use the Epic. So I will soak down the panel with Epic if it's really dirty before I do my rinseless wash with O&R. If it's something that has a lot of, dirt and it's really dirty and dark black spots and things like that, then I use EnviroClean. EnviroClean works great to start lifting the dirt away from the surface, and it works really well with a rinseless or even a waterless wash. So I pretty much alternate between the two, and they're both great. But I would say more often than not, it's Epic. Epic is a really, really great pre-spray, and I'm sure Dave can tell us the science behind that. But I just know it works great. I love it.
Right. So, I'm sorry. So, would you use this maintenance wash and then rinse? Is that what you use with EnviroClean? You just wipe it off.
I spray it, let it soak, and then I do my wash.
Right.
Yeah. No, I don't rinse it.
Right. Well, so Epic's going to be a more concentrated product. So that's why it works as a pre.
Yes, especially with rinseless. That's what my go-to is, especially in the winters. I'll just use it like Epic.
Yeah, it's great.
Right, and because you're not adding water, which you would do with a rinseless wash, you're keeping a pretty high solids in the actual product.
Yeah.
I'm skipping way ahead just so I can get this while it's relevant.
So Kirby's saying, try Evan Steger on YouTube. He's a master on semi-wheels. Yeah, I also follow Evan. That was the other name I was trying to think of. Yeah, that guy's insane. But every one of them, he looks like the guys, just like everybody at Air Force One when they're done cleaning the belly of the tanks. He's just covered. So, Kirby Thompson saying, does P&S have a tire dressing that can help to slow down UV rays or blooming caused by external factors? Well, there's the new dressing, Dressed.
Yeah, most of our water-based dressings have UV inhibitors in them.
There you go.
So, so those will help. They don't seem to do much for blooming that I know of.
Yeah. Nope.
There you go.
Nope. And I think lately I've always been deferring everybody with the blooming issue back to Dylan von Kleist's article. Several years ago, Dylan wrote an article specifically on tire blooming, why it happens, why sometimes we can't stop it. It was a great article, and I don't remember all the details of it that I would want to repeat because I'd probably get it wrong, but go seek out that article. It helps you understand why it's happening and maybe what you can do. But a lot of times, especially on those big truck tires, sometimes we just can't stop that blooming process. Yeah. So it's a great article. So I would advise you to go find that article. It gives you a whole different understanding when you're cleaning tires and what you're expecting. So great article.
There you go. Tim Jennings saying, just wanted to tell Dave, thank you for all the products you make. Every one of your products works as directed. Velocity Glaze is one of my favorites, and my customer love the way it turns out.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I feel like, we want our products to do what they say they're going to do. And, I mean, there's been years of time where, in the 90s and that sort of stuff, detailing products didn't have sometimes the best reputation and stuff. And I just felt like, we're providing value with the product. And I think that's, that's a really good thing. And it's been a goal of ours the whole time.
There you go. Juan C. saying tips on removing dye transfer from a vinyl armrest. I've tried P&S Express and Gyeong Strong Leather Cleaner with no luck. You can pick up Color Lock's Strong Cleaner. That's the next step up. And that usually does a really great thing. Or we also have Color Lock's dye transfer remover. You can get that. If all else fails, that's your nuclear option. Don't just go straight for it. Try Strong Cleaner first. If you've already tried those products and you haven't been able to get it, I'd bump up to Strong and I'd grab some dye transfer remover. It's a combination of mineral spirits and some other stuff that Color Lock makes. It's their proprietary kind of thing. So Rudy says, hi, everyone. Hello, Rudy. Mike G, the Goose, saying, hey, everyone. Question for Dave. Is there any benefit storing a ceramic coating in the fridge after use to extend its shelf life?
Anytime you keep the temperature you don't really need to store it in the fridge, but I think you do want to keep it at an even temperature. You don't want the temperature fluctuating a lot.
There you go.
You get gas transfer in and out of the bottle. You can get, so they last pretty well in the bottle. And you'll know when they go bad. They look pretty bad when they start going downhill.
Yo Hurl saying, hello all. I was wondering if you know of 2 or 3 different products that will remove a coating without multiple applications or polishing. I'm sure you know one, but I would like options if possible. Most of your compounds and polishes today will actually do that. I mean, pretty much just about anything.
It's very specifically asking for something that doesn't involve polishing, and that's why I'm like,
not really. No,
anything that's going to do that doesn't require physical agitation is going to be yikes.
Let's just say if you're putting Brake Buster on a coating and it removes it, the coating wasn't very strong to begin with. Right. If you were using an acid on a coating to remove it and it dissolves, it's not. They're supposed to be designed to stop that. Now, I will say Power Clean is a high pH 14 APC. It has a tendency to break a lot of the junky coatings. So some of your cheaper, junkier ones, it has that capacity to do that. But same would go for Brake Buster, washing your car with Brake Buster. If it's a bad coating, it's not going to last. It won't hold up to it. And that's the reason it's a bad coating. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure if those take them off. I'm not sure I say they meet the criteria.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't count on it.
Right.
There's not really anything, because you got to remember, they're designed to be chemical resistant, right? Yeah. That's the goal.
Right.
On both ends of the spectrum.
If you're throwing that on like inspiration, that's not going to happen.
He'll just clean the surface and make it work better. Other than just polishing really is the only way. It has to have that friction to remove it. And some are a lot harder than others to remove, because you've got to go through a lot of stuff. Go detailer, go. If a 9H coating loses hydrophobic properties, does that mean it's lost its UV protection as well?
Well, is it actually losing the hydrophobic properties, or is it just dirty?
Yeah, it might just be a clogged coating. Okay, next page, Dane. We are 1 hour behind with 45 minutes left to go.
Yeah,
40 minutes left to go. How long will Sol last open and on the shelf? The large bottle will last me a while if I can keep using it. Quite a while, guys?
Yeah, quite a while. Seal it up really well.
And keep it in a stable environment.
And keep it in a stable environment. I'd say, even though we put it in a clear bottle, I'd say keep it kind of in a darker area. Although, it shouldn't have that big.
So a consistent temperature is more important than any particular temperature.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Fernando Perez, how long does Beadmaker protect when applying?
Sydney, you want to?
I think this is a super variable answer.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to depend on the quality of the paint that you've put it on. It's going to depend on the prep. Did you clay it? Did you decontaminate it? Is the car stored in the garage? Is it stored outside? Do you park under a tree? How do you wash it? Is it a daily driver? I mean, there's so many variables for how long that Beadmaker is going to last that there's really no blanket answer.
Especially if you're parking in a garage or a parking lot, a sunny parking lot for
there's just
8 hours a day.
So many variables.
There's lots of different things that can happen. I always say it's infinite, because if you're using it every week, it's never going to die because you keep reapplying it.
For me, in my shop, I use Beadmaker every single day. Every single car that comes through my shop gets Beadmaker, whether they're getting a coating or just a regular detail. So often my repeat customers that are coming back every 6 months, the bead maker's still there.
Yeah.
And I apply bead maker with the clay towel. I do feel like that maybe makes it last a little bit longer. And, I have a lot of my customers that they park in a garage, they wash their cars themselves, or they use the car washes that I recommend and things like that. And so, I quite often see bead maker last 6 months or beyond. On my own car, I don't know because I use it all the time.
Yeah.
So it never would wear out. So yeah, I think that just depends on how it was applied, what conditions it was applied in, what surface, how it's. There's no one answer for that question.
So my car's, I keep mine outside. Mm-hmm. It's under a cedar tree, which I think I mentioned for the, which I hate. Uh-huh. But it does block the telephone pole, so I can't get rid of the cedar tree. Anyway, it gets kind of abused, and I find that it lasts 2 months, and I probably I at least wash my car every 2 weeks, if not every week, again by hand. So I get a couple of months out of it, but again, and that's me intentionally not using bead maker because I do that sometimes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But on a regular basis, I would just probably use bead maker because it helps me in the drying process.
Well, and we put bead maker on Air Force One, and it was now undercovered,
right,
in a hangar, like it's still open to the elements but covered. And they were finding even after the 2 years of not being there to take care of it, that they were still finding protection on the surface.
Right.
In certain spots.
So,
where bead maker was still holding true 2 years later, just never being cleaned or washed.
Subjected to the elements.
One of my original, I don't know, probably this story's been told a million times, but one of my favorite stories about Air Force One and bead maker was it was like the third day, and we were moving from the paint to the metal. So we had done the paint, we put bead maker on the paint, and then we taped it so we could start doing the metal the next day. Mm-hmm. And the tape was on the ground the next day.
Yeah, kept coming off.
Yeah.
I like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that Imron paint
cool.
sure worked well with that. Yeah. Han saying, I love how detailed Dave is and everybody can understand. Good job, Dave.
Yep.
Alex saying, Dave, I love that hot chemistry top. And Brad, Beadmaker, formula changed. My newest batch seems to attract dust way worse than my original stock. Again, Brad, this is
the home environment
where we're at.
It's
Change spring.
Outside.
A lot of pollen in the air.
At this point, we really do like most of all the performance characteristics of Beadmaker. Actually, we like them a lot, and like I said, it doesn't seem like a lot of people run into the dust problem, but it is a hot topic of conversation.
Kimberly, don't know if people are checking me out while detailing my car or those P&S products along with all my TRC microfiber towels because it's 65 and sunny in Chicago. Nice. There you go, Kimberly. Enjoy it.
All right, moving to the next page.
What we got here? Han saying brake buster in the washer of Luke is fun.
Okay.
Jody Hightower, I found that various APCs kill my spray bottles. The springs no longer allow for the trigger to return. Maybe it's the 100% humidity here. Any tips to stop this? Well, Jody, that's why our IK sprayers, our trigger sprayers, the TRs, are come in two different variations. One is a standard, and the other is a higher alkali cleaner. So a lot of your APCs that are higher up in the pH are designed for that, so it can run through those alkaline cleaners a lot better. So they're basically designed on the pH scale.
I don't think the humidity has anything
to
do with it.
Dracula, are there benefits to using O&R as a supplemental wetting agent instead of water? No, I do it. That's how I polish. I use O&R as a wetting agent if I need it. Tristan, would it be possible to have a product change water hardness? Or have a product to change water hardness. Say I just rinsed a car after washing instead of drying, just spraying on something. So,
O&R.
Tristan, that's what O&R does. I put it in my pressure washer and rinse my cars with O&R in my pressure washer. It doesn't change the hardness. It encapsulates the minerals within the water. That's the difference.
It's protecting you from the stuff that's still there.
Short of putting in a water softener in your water, that's about all you can do.
Are you saying you just rinse as in you're not drying?
No, basically you just rinse and pull it out or dry it.
But he says they are drying it.
Yeah, so say I just rinsed a car after wash instead of drying, just spray on something.
Right, so they're not drying the car.
So that's when you need to go with the spot-free system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
where
when
you pull the minerals.
You need to get some better quality water for that. Yeah, because you could put a chelate in the water, and that would bind up the minerals. But then you're just when the water that's on the car dries, you're just going to get the chelate and the minerals.
Yeah. Well, and you're not
going anywhere.
And that's the reason I use O&R is because it gives me time, so that when I pull in to my garage and it's a warm day or whatever, and I'm washing outside my garage, I pull in. I'm not worried as much about the water that may be dried in those moments because I can spray some O&R again on the body of the vehicle and dry it off, and it attracts and collects all those dried chelates.
So the bottom line is if there's solids in the water that's left sitting when the water dries away, it's going to leave whatever solids there.
So to remove the solids, look into the spot-free system. Mm-hmm. That's what Anthony does. We talk to those guys, and that's their reason. They say, we want you to be able to rinse your car and just leave it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. I have DI water at my house.
Lucky.
Not for the whole house, but I have DI water available to me. And rinsing glassware in DI water and then just letting it dry is just kind of amazing because you just can't believe it doesn't leave spots.
But there you go.
It just they're perfect.
Brian Schwab, what's up, guys? How do you feel about the whole debate going around pre-foam dry paint versus rinsing the paint then pre-foaming? Please keep in mind we're using dedicated pre-foam solution. So, Brian, that's a large topic. I don't know if we're going to have time for it, but basically what you're saying is, should you pre-foam on a dry car or should you add water first and then a foaming agent as a soap to help break up
basically minerals? Do you want it wet before you foam?
In the car wash industry, what they'll say is they usually want to get the product on the surface so that it can work on the surface. The danger in that, the good part about it in the car wash industry is your car heads straight into the tunnel and you have no opportunity for that to streak, run, dry, or anything.
Right.
As an individual, you run into those problems where you have
you're not fast enough.
You're not fast enough for that process. So I think it's safer to put the water on the car first.
There you go. Stephen Oliver, what's the best option for a large lifted truck, people that doesn't have a garage, to let a coating cure for 48 hours? That's a hard one. Sorry, bud. You're going to have to, that's kind of the goal is that hopefully those people that have that big, huge truck, maybe they do have a garage, or maybe you have a space that you can borrow, or friends, or a workshop or something that'll let you park it in overnight for them. But that's a good question. I mean, we usually don't, I know Sydney doesn't, and I don't take cars that don't fit in our garages, basically.
Setting realistic expectations goes a long way.
Yeah, like I've got a buddy that wants to get his truck done, and I jokingly tell him I can only do it in the spring and summer because the back end sticks out.
Yeah.
And I got to close the garage door around that, basically. So, yeah, that's kind of a hard one, man. Lydia Marshall, super impressed with my mystery box. I got a ton of towels, plus Geon spray-on coating and Dream Maker. You mean the G-Technic spray-on coating and Dream Maker?
Yeah.
Easy coat. So, and then Amber, the micelles of the soap sound like encapsulation. Can you discuss soap encapsulation versus rinseless encapsulation?
They are the same.
They're the same. There you go. And then Lydia goes, whoops, I meant G-Technic. That's all right, Lydia. Darren, hey, y'all, I have Green Star and was told on my Lexus machine gray wheels it might burn as the type of wheel is delicate. Can I dilute with GSF or would you recommend a different wheel cleaner? So you can dilute Green Star, totally, Darren. You don't need to use it straight. You can dilute it up to 20 to 1, 30 to 1, however you want to do it. It's basically an APC. So Hans Klozen saying, nice. More and more Dutch people on the podcast here. I love it. I live at least an hour more up north city called Hoogveen. And then Bill says, we spend a lot of time cleaning bird poop and bug splat, but we don't really address bee poop. What is the best way to get baked on bee crap off after it's ruined, it's turned nearly black? Man, you haven't washed your car for a long time if that bee poop is that color, man. That's been a long run. Most of the time, I use my thumbnail or a Jersey bug scrubber. It comes off. It's not that bad.
The Jersey scrubber is very handy.
Would you clay for that?
You can clay too. But
Yeah, I usually, if I have, a vehicle come in that's covered in what we call bee poop is, honestly, I spray bug off and use the Jersey bug scrubber.
Gets it all off.
Because again, I'm all about it getting off there as fast as possible.
There you go. Amber saying that hazing phenomenon reminds me of coastal fog. Scott Matern, good afternoon, everyone. Could you talk about what PPE should be worn if someone is using detailing products on a daily basis? Should we be wearing respirators? Probably smarter, depending on the products that you're using.
It's not going to hurt.
However, gloves and at least some
everything.
form of eye protection. I cannot say how many times my guys get something stuck in their eye because they weren't wearing goggles or something. To the point that I went and bought safety glasses for all my guys, put it on their carts, and they finally started using it when they'd get really dirty cars and they'd be blasting with compressed air.
Yeah.
You know, but gloves, gloves to save your hands.
Gloves, glasses for sure. I remember I took a tour of a company now is on its third or fourth name. It was called Ashland Chemical back then. But as we walked into the warehouse, it had a sign that just said, "This may be the last thing you read."
Oh gosh.
Oh my God.
There you go. Hey.
Wow.
Put your safety glasses on.
Yeah. There you go. Well, it's just like out
Great
here.
point.
You've got construction workers wearing hard hats.
Yeah.
There's a reason that they wear them, because there's a potential for damage. And I know too many detailers for so many years didn't like wearing safety equipment. I was one of them. We compounded and polished cars for years. No respirator, no dust mask even. And you feel the effects of it. So get on it. Keep thinking about it. And ear protection is another thing. Your hearing disappears fast.
Yes.
That's me. So,
I think the other thing is, I think at least for our products is that, our products were originally designed as industrial grade products. It's one of the reasons they kind of stand out, I think, in the industry. They weren't originally designed as retail products, so they're stronger than you're used to seeing. So, I mean, more protection is always a good bet.
there you go.
So, gloves, glasses. At least.
Yeah. So I am going to power through here. So I apologize to people. We're going to go really, really fast.
We're an hour behind.
Still an hour behind, and we got 30 minutes left. So Tyler Cruz, just mix it with Dreammaker from Jamie the Cleaner. Haha. Brad, how long to let Beadmaker cure before having it outside? It depends on the humidity of the area. Anywhere from 30 minutes to 8 hours. It can really just depend on where you got it, right?
And if it's nice outside and there's no big wind or stuff floating around, you can take it outside right away. But
there you go. Barry, Natural Finish is an amazing product. Thanks to Sydney, this product has made a strong comeback. The matte finish it leaves is awesome. She said you guys have 32-ounce unlabeled bottles on the radar. I am not going to answer that until it's in my hands. Tyler Cruz saying, hey, crew, any chance the dress will be coming in smaller than a gallon size? I really want to try it out in my search for a new dressing. Thanks.
We'll take it as a suggestion, but there's no plan for it yet.
There you go.
There you go.
And then Brandon Hartwell had a great, almost over an hour-long talk with this guy yesterday. Basically, he's looking to start a setup similar to what you've got, Sid.
Oh, cool.
So Brandon, thank you for joining. Hans, Dave can't change the color or scent of Beadmaker. Sydney will go on a killing spree.
It's quite possible.
Yeah, then Matthew saying it's going good. Jeff C, any word on Beadmaker air fresheners? Gosh, Jeff, it's expensive. We're working on it. Razors.
Man, if you just knew how expensive that stuff gets.
Can I use P&S Beadmaker as a drying aid? Yes, you can, especially if it's already got Beadmaker on it. Hans, yes, P&S Beadmaker air fresheners. I would buy them per box. Patrick better start email bombing P&S. You guys don't understand how expensive these are. We've been working on them for a couple years.
Behind the scenes, and every time it just came to a dead stop.
We'd call Bob and go, all right, here's your buy-in on this. And Bob's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. we're like, okay, well, we can't afford to do it ourselves. So, Matthew Disbrow, is it okay to use Dreammaker in between Beadmaker applications? Yes, that's exactly what it fits perfectly in the lineup for that. And then Dracula, are iron removers safe to use in direct sunlight? Well, it depends on the iron remover, and it depends on what do you mean by direct sunlight? Like how long is it sitting? What's the temperature of the surface of the panel?
I mean, Dracula detail of all people to be asking a question about direct sunlight.
Yeah, what'll happen?
Are you okay to be working in direct sunlight?
What happens if it gets too hot?
Just worked at night, dude.
Yeah. If it gets too hot, it is gonna start to etch or bond with the clear, and that's something you need to watch out for, especially.
I think the temperature is the biggest deal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's 40 degrees out in direct sunlight, well, you're not probably going to worry about it.
But if it's 70 and it's a black car and it's
or 105 and you're outside with a black car and you're spraying.
Let's be fair though. At 105, everything is hot.
Yeah, you don't want it to. You don't want
certain
the
times
iron
products
to
just
dry.
don't work.
Yeah.
And then also, is it protect safe to use in direct sunlight? Yes, again, within reason. Brad, Jeff C, I'm in for one also. I love the smell.
More of the air freshener.
Yeah, one, guys. We have to order a lot.
You have no idea how many we'd have to get.
Yeah. Did Anthony get kicked out because he created a challenger to Orange Beadmaker? Yes. That's exactly why, Dan.
Yep.
And then Alex, Jamie the Cleaner is always after the tea. And then Jamie the Cleaner, hey, thanks for that amazing idea, Tyler. Jamie the Cleaner's famously been mixing Dreammaker and Beadmaker together.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Kimberly, referring last week to rubber floor mats, I used P&S Express white carpet drill, lightly applied Plastar while damp. Let it dry for a couple hours. Wiped it again with a damp applicator. And I don't know.
That's all I got.
Awesome. And then Yo Hurl, Bug Off is amazing. Foamed it on a friend's 6-month baked in the sun bugs. Took some time, but got them all.
Cool.
That's what you want.
All right, go to page 3.
Kimberly, did Plastar make the car stink? Question. Tyler, I may or may not have a concoction. I love it. Ron, good afternoon, TRC. Dave and Sydney. Hey, Ron.
Hey.
David, also, do we have an idea on longevity of full send dressing? My boss is looking for something to last longer than a few days. Yeah, no, it'll last longer than a few days, for sure.
Yeah, didn't you have a story earlier? Or did you? Somebody had a full send story.
I think it was Dave. I think it was him talking about it.
Oh,
David
okay.
Cervantes saying
Oh,
he
that
put
was it.
some on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my favorite friend, Rocky Iverson.
Rocky lives on.
Rocky Iverson says, what's Dave's thought on the Dreammaker and Dreammaker mix 10-1 for the Cleaner's Clean Maker? That's Dreammaker and Beadmaker mixed together.
Dreammaker.
Clean Maker, as he calls it.
What's your thought on
What
it?
do you think?
What are my thoughts?
Yeah, that's what he wants to know. What your thoughts are.
What are
on
my
it.
thoughts?
We talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing this all day. So yeah, it sounds like people have tested it out and it's pretty amazing. So
well, there you go.
I'm not gonna, I don't think I've done it myself. So I can't speak for my own use.
Yeah, I did finally try it. It's pretty legit. It's pretty great. Yeah.
Noted.
And then I'm just going to say Anthracite said, thanks. Need to review the parking space. You're right. Gloss result after paint gloss is just mind-blowing. I want to eat the car as it's like a red lollipop. That's
Nice.
awesome. And then Dracula, who's the original manufacturer of the wheel brushes on your site? I've seen some suppliers that have the same brushes and others of the same build, but with different bristles. I don't know which brush you're talking about. So we have the Detail Factory wheel brush on our website.
Detail Factory.
And then we have our green body brushes and tire brushes, and those are SM Arnold.
Yeah.
So,
If
and
it's
then the
something
rest
else,
are all
then you
Detail
have to
Factory. The
specify.
smaller brushes are all Detail Factory. So, I think hopefully that answers it, Dracula.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot of different bristles, in case you're wondering.
No.
So, Hans, HF Arch's users are the makers of silent movies. Yeah, right? Mike C, I can't believe I almost forgot about Thursday Q&A. Please forgive me. It looks like a great show today for sure. Thank you. And
been
then
good.
Ron saying P&S products rock. You're right, Ron. Mike C, how would you recommend I wash the pouches of a detailer's helper belt? Regular clothes wash, or perhaps with rags to riches with microfiber towels? No, put it in with your microfiber.
Yep.
Wash it separately, just with your wash. I'd throw it in with some of your work clothes or something.
There you go.
Sydney should Beadmaker the whole house and video the cat trying to destroy the house.
Oh, the cat. The cat. I don't know if you guys have seen, my cat appears on every Zoom and Beadmaker
yeah.
and Coffee.
Nice.
She literally brings the house down. And she loves when the computer's on. And she shows up to everything.
Yeah, that's how my cat does that same
Yeah.
thing. I think it's because
Yeah.
they're tabbies.
Yeah.
Dracula Detail, what's the recommended dilution ratio of pearl for a foam cannon? 1,000 milliliters. You can go 200 to 300 milliliters in 1,000 milliliters. You can go as thick as you want. You want to go 500 milliliters, you can. But 200, 300, just fine, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So
depends on. I mean, it depends on the cannon, right?
Yeah,
and how much dilution the cannon does, and how foamy you want it.
How much pressure?
How much cling you want. A lot of them have. You can dry out the foam, and some of them are wet foam. So it really varies. I think it's kind of an open.
Yeah.
Jay Bear, just taking a break. Wanted to say hello to everybody. It's great to see the representatives from P&S. Thank you, Jay Bear. And Matt, Kirby Thompson, I use interior cleaner of floor mats. After I clean them, works wonders. There you go. Jamie the cleaner, yep, I also bead maker the glass stove and bathroom mirrors. We'll have to try Clarity Cream on the chrome fixtures. And then P&S is known for having great performing products for lower costs than brands like CarPro and Kion. What makes P&S coatings cost significantly more than those other brands? That was a good question.
Yeah.
They're just expensive.
There you go.
Yeah.
They're just
I guess
expensive.
I didn't realize they cost more. I feel like
It seemed like-
right there in line.
Well, and if you
You're
take
right
it down
in
to
line
the
just
per
about
ounce,
for most of them.
cost
Yeah.
per ounce, because you guys, your coatings tend to be in larger volumes.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is
With
another thing.
30
And I-
milliliter, 50 milliliter, 100 milliliter.
And I think you have to take into account, do the other coatings have an applicator in the box? Do they not? I mean, that's an additional cost, but I've never realized that ours were.
Well, and sometimes there's even 15 milliliter bottles.
Yeah.
So check your pricing on a lot of that stuff.
Especially if you're comparing Sol, right? Because we have to remember Sol is a 100 ml bottle.
Yeah, it's a big bottle.
That's going a long way.
Yeah.
Han, Sydney just started something new. P&S asking questions. Lol. Dan Pfeiffer, does Dave have one of those fancy UV water bottles in front of him?
I do.
There you go.
Yeah, I do. My cousin gave it to me for my birthday a couple of years ago, and I ended up liking it. It's great because the water always stays fresh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
and
pretty
sometimes
cool.
you leave it around for a day or two, and you ordinarily would throw the water away, but you can just pick it up and drink it again.
There you go. Nice.
There you go.
Frank C. just wanted to say, keep that mental health on point, my fellow detailers. Watching from San Bernardino, California. That's right. It's a great tool. Your brain, so you got to make sure you're right. Phil, question for Dave and Sydney. Love the gloss bead maker does, but P&S do a longer lasting spray or cream sealant?
So we have our P&S paint sealant.
There.
So yeah, that's a good solid 6-month sealant, and it won't wash off. You could strip it off. You could take, Brake Buster or EnviroClean, and you could. That's okay. You could strip it off, but basically, if you're just doing a car wash soap and a hand mitt application, you can wash it until you turn green.
Nice.
So it's it's a good solid 6 months.
Yep. And then there's always Sol, if you haven't tried it.
Yeah, I was going to say I just stick with bead maker and Sol. So there's really no in between for me. So like I said, I generally speaking get 6 months out of bead maker. And probably the reason there is because I am claying at the same time. So it's literally removing all of the contaminants from the surface. So it's allowing bead maker to adhere better, right? And so it's going to last a little bit longer when done that way. But then for me, I've never really sought out a longer lasting spray, because if I truly want to bump up the longevity there, I just go straight to Sol. Yeah. So I've never found that I need anything in between. I really love Sol. I think it's such a versatile coating that you can either use as a longer term sealant type, or you can use it as a standalone coating, or you can use it as a coating topper. So for me, like we talked about the versatility of products earlier, I just adore Sol so much. I think it's such a great product that if I need something longer than bead maker, I just jump straight to Sol.
Yeah, there you go.
And it takes I can almost apply and remove Sol just as fast as I can bead maker.
Yeah.
So
Dino with a joke. This is just a joke. What is a dilution ratio for Sol and Legend? Ha ha ha. Just a joke.
Well, you see, it's not water in the product. It's actually paint in the product.
Yeah.
So you just put it with the paint, and then you have your dilution.
GR says, yes, I've been doing plastic headlights with Clarity Cream. Tried it once and was blown away, and now over 18 sets in, it seems very pad dependable.
Well, that's
nice.
amazing. I'm going to try it.
Baby Dave is actually what it stands for. Old sports nickname. Will TRC carry their APC in the future? I don't know. We're always adding different P&S products that fit my fancy. Alex saying congratulations to Ratone. And then Dane next page, and we are still 1 hour behind. Oh, no.
Let's go forward. We're on to page 2.
44 minutes behind. First from Puerto Rico with G3510 come in other scents besides spearmint. Don't know what that is.
That's the aerosol product. I think it's the air.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think it's just spearmint.
There you go. Luster saying fire. Cynthia saying, what pads do you recommend on the Clarity Cream for the headlights? And then the UDS Way. What's up, everybody? So glad to see Dave and Sydney on the show. Love the P&S brand, and we're planning along with TOC Supplies on bringing more P&S products for the Canadian market. Nice. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
It's on the radar.
They've been kicking butt for us, TOC and UDS. Barry Cook. What P&S product can Sydney's face go on for good? I think it would be awesome for all she has done for the brand. She wants to be like Kyle. Kyle's only on one product.
Oh man.
Kyle's boat and RV.
I only need one.
I think we're gonna find one.
Well, it took Dave this long, and he owns the friggin' company and makes the products.
He's making this stuff.
Come on, man.
Lot better looking.
Sam, gotta head out, but it would be if anyone's catching those post-winter details. ONR and N914 is amazing. Salt neutralizer. Hope you guys have a great day. That's a good idea. Han saying Paul Mahundo to Luke, and he will be your off-road product hauler. He'll drive it up there for you, Alex. And then Dave, too bad you couldn't make it to TRCMA. Meeting your team in person was amazing, and your team is top-notch. Love them all.
Yeah, they did a nice job.
Yep. And then David Cervantes, would you guys recommend Sol as a coating for a first-time installer? I don't detail usually, just the occasional except at work and for those that I owe a favor. Yeah, dude, it's the easiest thing in the world to use.
Absolutely.
Especially if you've never used a coating before. It's really the best for getting your training wheels figured
Beginner
out.
friendly.
Yeah, super easy. It's cannibalistic, so you can put it on if you miss a spot or you forget to wipe a spot off. You can come back and put it on it. It's an amazing product.
It's forgiving.
Josh, details, 31 minutes. Hey, we finally caught up. Here we go. Will P&S make a foaming soap for foam cannons? We love our foam, and there's definitely a huge market for it. Yeah, they have it.
Pearl. Yeah.
It's called Pearl, and you can make any kind of foam. You can make shaving cream foam. You can make a wet foam. You can make a very light,
comes down to
very
your dilution
simple foam. It really
Yeah.
just depends on the dilution.
Yeah. And actually, all of our soaps foam really well. One of my favorite ones to foam is actually body wash from the Chemtrol line. That one foams really, really well and has really great cleaning abilities. But all of them, wash and wax, Radiance, the wide open.
Yeah, wide open.
Yeah, they all
cool
do
soap too.
really great in a foam cannon.
Yeah.
All right, let's catch up to a couple more of these before we start chatting. I know you guys have a soap already, but a high foaming soap would be awesome. We just talked about that. They have lots of soaps.
Bit more soap.
Omega Detailing, big fan of your channel. What carpet cleaner would you guys recommend for extraction? Having a difficult time removing stains. The trifecta. You can pick it up on the website here at the Rag Company. It is Terminator, Carpet Bomber, and Finisher.
Yep.
That three, they do it all day long. It's amazing. We've also got some videos on us using it. It's very simple, easy to use. Class Act, can someone challenge Built Hamber pre-wash soaps? Just curious. Well, we don't carry the Built Hamber, so I don't know if we could, but somebody
he wants a brand to challenge it. I think there's some really good pre-wash soaps out
there's
there.
A lot of great
Built Hamber's
pre-wash.
great. No question, but there's a lot of great competitors too.
Revilo, paint gloss first, then bead maker, other way around. Bead maker, then paint gloss. And then Class says, no one puts bead maker on a freshly coated car. Kind of confused with what's what this girl said.
Oh.
So Class Act on inspiration coating, they actually work very cohesively together. And the reason that after you finish coating the car and you've wiped your coating off, you put bead maker on the car also does the thing where it protects the coating while it's curing.
Yeah.
And it provides some light protection. So if you need, you got to give a customer back their car and you can't hold on to it for 24, 48 hours in your garage or your shop, putting bead maker on the vehicle allows you to send it out and feel good and feel safe and not have any issues. And that is pretty standard across the line with a lot of different coating manufacturers.
Like Optima,
G-Technic,
and
G-Technic says that. Top their vehicles. If you've got to put the car out in under the curing time, put C2V3 on it. Optimum says that. If you have to put OptiCoat or Gloss Coat or OptiCoat Pro Plus, top it with OptiSeal. Put OptiSeal on top and send it out because the sealant protects it while the coating is curing. And once the coating cures, the coating actually sheds the sealant.
It's your insurance policy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So that's how it works, man. Alex yelling, bead maker. Dan saying, Sydney, you mentioned applying bead maker with a clay towel. If you don't mind me asking, do you mean the clay, the car, and then bead maker, or actually using a clay towel to apply bead maker?
Actually using the clay towel to apply the bead maker. So when the car's wet from washing it, you leave it wet, you spray it down with bead maker. I use a good amount for this, and then go over it with the clay towel like you normally would and dry, and you're done. So we call it Wash Clay Seal. It works awesome.
Yeah, it's basically like the Wash Clay Wax, but with Speedmaker instead of Optimum Car Wax.
Yeah, it works awesome. That is what I do. I have pretty limited services that I offer in my shop, and it's either they're getting, a full detail, which the outside is always just Wash Clay Seal. I don't touch my polisher unless we're doing paint correction, which is separate. And so that's what every car gets. And then it's what I do for my coating maintenance also. Mm-hmm. They're getting, the bead maker and the clay. It's awesome. If you haven't tried it, it's an awesome process.
David Cervantes saying, is Blue Bead Maker going to make a comeback? Be as vague as you would like, but please give me hope. Matthew Disbrow, Alkaline, top you use Bead Maker as a clay lube. There you go. And then Alkaline said, thanks, Matthew. Yeah. Is P&S no rub only in a spray can?
Only in a spray can.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the way it's designed.
Yeah, I mean the whole chemistry is based on being in an aerosol can. Yep. So you couldn't just take it out of the can and start.
Yeah, I mostly wanted to address that because I know the next question would be, why don't you put it in something else?
Right. So I mean, the volatiles that are in the aerosol and everything work together with the no rub coating, and it has to be done that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So he says he'll be doing an exterior detail 86 Wagoneer with some of the pollen buildup, maybe bee poop, anything to be careful with. It has wood paneling, I think, a clear coat, maybe a respray. No, that's a vinyl sticker on the side is what that is. So just be careful you're not peeling the stickers. Hans, look up Forensic Detailing Channel. He made a video about that, Brian. And with Bill Hamber. There you go. And then... So if you guys haven't, and you didn't notice, but we also have the off-road line sitting on the table here, and there are some pretty unique standouts. So if you guys want to pick those up and give them a try, I would recommend it. They're great products. So, Graham, we have a new product here in the UK called Synergy 2 by Infinity Wax, a ceramic coating that cures in under an hour. Most coatings could also cure in under an hour, depending on how the temperature and the chemistry of it is, right?
Right.
Some are
it really
UV, some are
it just depends on how much catalyst you put in the coating. So it's really a performance choice by the formulator, how you want that coating to cure and the time you want to do it. Typically, something that's going to cure. I mean, some of this could just be, they decided to say it was an hour.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that. But usually if you get a coating that's really going to cure hard in an hour, it's going to become more difficult to use.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've always noticed. Coatings that do cure fast are not fun.
Yeah.
So I like them to stay a little soft.
And we got Kirby Thompson.
Does a citrus-based degreaser, if put on a TRC clay towel, ruin it? Not really. It's just make sure you rinse it out. Don't leave it on it. My username, what is best P&S lineup for natural finish that can be sprayed on and left on engine bays? What's in the best dressing? Everyone goes natural finish. Everyone says use natural finish. Besides natural finish.
Yep.
Hans, I love wearing my mechanics gloves when holding polishing machines. My best tip from the MOS. Mm-hmm. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Kirby Thompson, Dave, which soap has a wide range of uses? The new off-road wide open or regular Pearl? Wide range of uses.
Perhaps which one has the wider array of uses?
Well,
I don't know.
How about we've got time. Talk about the differences between wide open and Pearl.
Yeah.
Okay. So Pearl was originally designed to be dilutable through a machine. That's why it's so thin. Uh-huh. So Pearl doesn't have a lot of the foam stabilizers and things that wide open has. So to a certain extent, the question is interesting because a shampoo is a shampoo, but there are going to be different things about wide open. Wide open is going to be a little bit more versatile in its ability to retain its foam over time in, say, a bucket than Pearl would. And it's going to have, it's also, again, we discussed this amongst ourselves earlier where we have a different job we're trying to do.
Right.
We're looking at wide open. It's a lot of lubricity. A lot of lifting capability, a little bit more detergency. The foam helps in that, and the durability of the foam. The problem with something like wide open, and you're looking with, we talk a lot about, Pearl through a foam cannon, is this is thick. Yeah. You're going to have to dilute it down quite a bit to get it to go through the foam cannon. So that makes a difference in the use of this one. But to a certain extent, I mean, it's a shampoo, and so there's similarities based on that. But they're going to be. This one is tailored to what we think needs to be done to a kind of a dirtier, all-terrain mud,
stickier, heavier dirt.
Grittier sorts of dirt. So this one's tailored for that.
Yeah, there you go. Stephen Oliver, thanks for the honest answer. Looks like finally have a good reason to remodel and build a dedicated detailing wing in the garage. There you go.
There you go.
Tyler, maybe ask someone to has a gallon if you can buy a pint of it to Tyler. Alkaline, forget air fresheners. I want the P&S Anthony versus Sydney Beatmaker fight sticker pack.
That'd be pretty great.
That's a good one, Dan. Dracula, my green wheel brush from you guys has the bristles tightly packed together. Is there a good way to flare them out like they were brand new for maximum coverage? Not really, man.
Getting a new brush.
Get them wet and get a
simplest solution. There.
Mine lives in a bucket of O&R or soapy water. It doesn't ever dry. I don't ever let it dry. So maybe try that. Hans, I signed up for the P&S newsletter.
Awesome.
Hans. Too.
Thanks, Hans.
MD's Rock, what polisher would you recommend as a second polisher type? First one is a Griot's DA. I would pick up a Rupes, like an LHR 15, like a Legacy edition, possibly, or go for a Mark III, Mark IV. Go get one of those.
The Legacy, wouldn't that be like an ES?
An ES,
yeah. Right.
Yep, the ES 15. Dracula detail. By the way, my example for coatings, Guillaume Mo's Evo, $69 for 30 mLs. CarPro C-Quartz is UK 3.0 is $59 for 30 mLs. Compared that to not even Inspiration. I think really those are comparable to Soul.
Mm-hmm. So, because Inspiration is a step above those.
Yeah, Inspiration is a step above both of those products.
And then Legend is like...
So, good point. You have to compare the durability of the product and
you're
what
getting
it is.
100 milliliters.
Yeah, so that's
product.
like 3 bottles of the 3.0, which...
Yeah.
So if those are your examples, then the pricing actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Maids Rock, already answered that one. Then David, does the trifecta come in a package? That'd be an awesome idea.
Everyone loves packages.
Yeah, you could try. Right. I don't know. It might be on Amazon. But yeah, that's a good idea. Jeff is now going to make that happen, I think, David, because you just said
just
that.
like that.
There you go.
Run in here and go, we got to package them together.
We got to have that happen. Yeah.
Kimberly.
The kit idea is usually just a lot of, at least a little extra work for us, and we're working pretty hard.
There you go.
No, it's
Kimberly saying, thank you guys. You make Friday Eve more awesome. Thank you, Kimberly. And David, CarPro Reload Guion Cure, same story. Put it on to protect the coating while it cures. Yep, exactly. David, how does Pit Stop compare to paint gloss? More protection, more cleaning power, like a waterless wash?
Yeah. Okay. So again, we're talking about we're dealing with a different substrate, and we're trying to do something different. So. As far as paint gloss, there's definitely going to be more dirt lifting, more encapsulation. Paint gloss isn't really designed to be it's more like a dust and wipe sort of product. It's not designed to do much cleaning. Now, this isn't designed, if you really want to do some cleaning, you got to move to the other products, but it's designed to, you're going to, if you stop, you want to clean your ATV up just a little bit before, while you're stopped for the night, that sort of thing. You haven't gotten a lot of stuff on your vehicle. This is a great way to go, but it's going to be, it's going to just do more cleaning and dirt lifting than something like paint gloss.
There you go.
Yeah.
Funny, I clayed with Beadmaker today because my clay lube was empty. There you go, Hans. Omega, I'm still using a McCullough MC 1375, 1 capful of O&R with 1 gallon of still water. Is there bad chemical smell when steaming interior plastics? Maybe the inside of your machine? I don't know.
I think I know what he's talking about. I use the same one, and it gives off a smell. Yeah, I mean, it just smells different. It just smells different than just plain water.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that's probably about what I do. One capful. Yeah.
Because I do that.
What I do. I wouldn't say that it's a bad chemical smell. It's just a smell that's different than water.
Yeah, but it's still pretty strong. So it's half a cap.
Oh, yeah.
It's a capful per 2 gallons. So you might be running too much O&R, and it might be burning up in there.
Yeah. Yep.
So half a cap full of O&R. Graham, Synergy 2 is for idiots like me.
Hey,
Graham, you're not an idiot. Dave, smell the pit stop bottle, says Hans.
Yeah.
Kimberly says, will wide open in the winter work for road salt? That's
Wide open. That's
the
the
wide open.
Yeah.
For road salt.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah,
be good for
because
that.
we've added things like rust inhibitors to actually quite a bit of the line.
I was going to ask about the rust inhibitors and where they can be found in the line.
Yes. So actually, rust inhibitors are found in the wide open, the mud buster, and the interior cleaner because, in fact, there isn't much of an interior.
correct.
True. You have some surfaces
it's
that are
mostly
not
it's mostly an exterior, even though it's an interior cleaner. So yeah, we have the inhibitors in all three of those products.
Nice. Barry, thanks TRC and P&S for answering questions. P&S products are my go-to now, and I love all the podcasts you guys do. TRC towels is pretty much all I use. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Barry. I hope you're subscribed to the TRC podcast channel because that's a thing too.
Matt saying, Omega, wherever you're cleaning from a vehicle, I ran into a bad smell like that while detailing interior while you were going. Could be the vehicle. Hans, I'd pay for Sydney and Anthony's sticker fight pack.
I would too. That'd be fun.
Travis saying, hello, everyone from South Florida. What does P&S stand for?
Oh, here
Love
you
your
go.
products.
Well, it originally stood for Phillips and Stuber, my dad's first partner. And then we went for Polish and Supply, Phillips and Sons.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of ran out of ideas and decided that maybe PS Detail Products and Double Black was a better way to go.
There you go.
Well, there you go. Now you have it. So, Stephen Oliver, tell me there's something out there to help with the pollen that has been so bad this year. Wash your car. That's really it, man. You can't fight the Mother Nature with the pollen. They're gonna pop out. So it's
We'll
gonna
find
be
new ways to torture you.
life.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Eric Hughes, I couldn't find that video. I think you guys said from SEMA where they were compounding and polishing a red oxidized vehicle, base coat, clear coat. Do you remember what channel that was on? Oh, that was from our TRCMA.
Yeah.
Rupes was polishing a hood from a red Celica.
Yeah, it was great actually.
It's day 4, Thursday of TRCMA. I think
Look
the
for the
afternoon session.
TRCMA day that has
Rupes
Rupes in the title.
Yeah, take a look at that. Oh, Wednesday is what
Wednesday.
I hear.
Yeah.
Alkaline. Could I use a CTV3 to protect C5 on wheels that are coated? Yes. What is the minimum cure time for C5? Not much cure time.
Simple enough.
Han says it's called Phillips and Sydney. Eric says thank you, and thank
rounds
you.
us
Wow,
out.
we rounded it out.
That was the end of the
so,
show.
Nice,
guys, Ultra Coat Polish is available at PNS.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we
PNSsales.com.
do have it in stock.
They have it in stock. We had some bottles shipped. Some of them maybe burped a little bit. So we may have some later this week available on the site. But you can pick up the entire off-road line right now at ragcompany.com if you're interested in playing with it. So get it today.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you, dudes. Appreciate you guys coming on here.
Yeah.
Dave, this
Thank
is
you very
always
much.
amazing when you get on here. I'm amazed at the number of questions. Normally, they're just a lot of fart jokes.
I would,
So-
I would like to, I mean, if and when it happens again, I think, I'd love to have some generic questions. Just let's find out about detail products in general.
Yeah.
yeah. There you go, guys. Did you hear that?
So take notes. Come up with some stuff you want to ask.
Dave's here just about every 6 weeks
Yeah.
or so. So
We're going to make a habit out of it, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the idea. Guys, gals, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, too, for being here as guests. We always love it when you're here. And if you haven't subscribed already, what are you doing, guys? Please click subscribe. Click like on this video because you know what? It helps us get in front of more people so that we can answer more questions. And who knows? Someone else may ask the question that you never thought to ask, but you really needed the answer to. So I think
never
that's
know.
important, too. All right, guys, have a great weekend. We'll catch up with you over on the Rag Company podcast channel next week for the Rag Company podcast. Till then, have a great weekend.
see ya.
Thanks, guys.